Hello everybody, welcome back, welcome to Masterclass, and we have got a fantastic Gemini Masterclass today. So we're going to go through all the different Gemini machines we've got, all the different things they can do. I know from looking at the comments earlier on, so many of you have got them all, so you probably know even more than we do. But if you've got any questions about your Gemini, perhaps you bought one over the last few weeks and you haven't actually taken it out of the box yet, you're a bit nervous, you don't need to be. There are so many things you can do with it. If you've ever watched Sarah doing any of her demonstrations, you can see she's putting 3 tin cans or drinks cans through the machine. It's an amazing piece of kit. So this is going to help you work out either how to best to use your Gemini, or perhaps if you're looking for a different one, you're just teetering on the cusp of deciding which Gemini to have. Today is going to be the one for you to watch, and Debbie's going to be available to answer any of your questions. So just pop them on our Facebook page or YouTube, any questions that you've got, and we'll be able to answer those for you. We have got some amazing deals on here. So this is our weekend Super Saver deal. It's one of these Tiffany bags, a Tiffany tote bag. This one is actually the Nancy tote bag. I love these bags because I love the fact that you can see everything in them, and they're really, really sturdy. They're not going to fall apart. But in this deal, you'll be getting the tote bag, and you'll be getting this rotating clipboard here, and you'll also be getting the magnetic design set. So this has a magnetic kind of shim on it, and also a ruler, so this allows you to be crafting wherever you are. Now what you're going to be doing is you're going to be buying these two, and you'll be getting this for free, this rotating clipboard over here. So the price today is £27.98 or $31.98. It's even cheaper if you're a Club Inspire member, and so the platinum price is £22.38 or $25.58. So I'm not on my own. I do have the lovely Debbie Robinson here. Debbie, what have you got for us on today's show?
It is basically a 101, everything you need to know about all of our die cutting machines, all of our guillotines, all of our core essential tools, from scissors to glues to tapes to the Geminis. And the Gemini is a big family. We have got them all available on both UK and US, I believe, some in the US and some in the UK, but we've got all of them on the show, starting with that great big Pro, with the original, down to the Junior, down to the Go, down to the electric free, I'm going to call them, the simplicity without the electricity, as how Ben would say, don't mind me pinching that one, where we've got the MIDI and the Mini as well. All the accessories, all the plates, they're already available on the website. Just head over to that website, and if you need to top yourself up with some plates and things like that, you absolutely can do. But this is your show as much as it is yours. I'm going to talk you through all the reasons why you need them. The reasons why you need the guillotine, from the largest to the smallest. The reason why you need a Gemini, whether it be electronic or a manual. I promise you, I'm going to talk through the paces, and any questions you want to ask, this is your show. So just let the socials know. We've got a social media superstar, not sure which one it is. I'm sure Becky will tell me in a moment. Is it Susie? The lovely Susie T. So yes, so let us all know what it is that you want to see. Ask any questions if you have any problems, anything like that. But I am going to do a little bit of a 101. As you know, this week we, well, I say we, the royal we, our lovely Sarah joined forces with QVC. So we've got new viewers joining us all the time, and it literally is a bit like you know, you go to a slimming group and you have a little prep talk every so often.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean when I say that? Because I'm going back on Wednesday. I need to. So it's like that. It's like that reintroduction, because we forget people, you know, are just joining craft for the first time. They may not have even know what a die cutting machine is. What does it do? We talk about it being a fantastic machine and a really essential piece of a kit, but they might not know what it does. They might not know what a die is. They might not know what mat and lyre die is. We've got those on the show. They might not know what a stamp is. I know it sounds silly, but we do have new viewers joining us the whole time. So this is for all of you lovely regulars that join us, and for everybody that is joining us brand new today. And feel free, if you are one of those brand new eyeballs that are watching us, don't be shy. Come and say hello. Just drop a comment on Facebook or YouTube. Susie T will find them out and pass them on to Becky, who will then pass them on to me. But it is your show. But we've got some amazing deals on the Essential Corner, as I'm going to call it. So I'm going to get started, because I'm going to start with my favourite machine of all time. Over to you, Becky.
Is your favourite machine the Pro? Fantastic. No, it's not.
No, the original, the OG.
The OG?
The A4 OG,
Really?
yes, it's my all-time go-to machine. However, I've always had my eye on that Pro because it's the biggest beast of them all, which means that you can get lots of cutting, die cutting potentials. We call it a Pro because we think about all those crafters out there that do this for a living, do, you know, batch make and things like that. So we thought of something that was on a bigger scale in terms of the plate size, and we are going to have a little look at that, because believe you me, it's a monster deal, it's a monster of a machine, and it really is part of that Gemini family that offers you the same as the original did. The power, the precision, the immense pressure that you get from all of our machines. This one is the big daddy of them all.
You're absolutely right. It is a huge machine. So this is the Pro just here, and it is enormous in comparison to the other ones, and you're going to be able to fit so much more in them. You'll be able to use your smaller plates in there as well as your Pro plates.
So your A4 plates are the ones. So the plates that you have. So we have all, and we'll talk about the plates, from cutting plates, embossing mats, metal shims, magnetic shims. Talk about all those in a moment when I go through the OG, the original, the A4, getting the OG and the A4 mixed up. We'll talk about all of those, but it's the A4 plates that will fit through there. So the size of that platform is 12-inch opening. So the Pro is a 12-inch mouth, and it has a platform of 12 by 12 or 12 by 18, I believe, that's right, which is a big plate. It's a big space to fill with lots of your bigger projects, with lots of your bigger things in mind. So it's an absolutely fantastic machine, but it would be the A4 plates. If you've got the A4 already, your A4 plates will fit sideways into the mouth of that 12-inch mouth. So yes, absolutely. But so that gives you three different potentials, three different cutting platforms to work with in terms of your A4, your ones that come with the machine, which are the, I think if I remember rightly, it's the 12 by 12 that goes in, and then there's a 12 by 18 plate combination. And again, look over on the website. You'll see all the plates that are on the website over there. But with each machine, you do get plates anyway. You don't have to go out buying separates. You will, with every one of the machines, every one of the family has got its own set of plates that comes with you, and some starter kits as well.
So you start straight away. So this is so your Pro here is £404.10. This is UK only. Platinum price is £323.28. It is a really large machine, and you'll be able to get so much done, because like Debbie says, you know, you'll be able to pop lots and lots of different shapes, lots and lots of different dies on that one platform, run it through, and it will save you time. The next one we've got is the OG, the one we all have, isn't it? That's the one which is your A4 size. So this is the one I've got at home. I haven't got the Pro yet. Maybe that Pro might be coming home with me. Shh, don't tell anybody. So it is quite heavy. It's a good thing I'm not flying and I'm not going on the train. I am driving this week. So on this one is like this, your standard size. It is quite small, and actually all of these will work on like a Lazy Susan if you want to rotate them. So this is £161.99, or platinum price is £129.59. Debbie's actually got them stacked on top of each other, so you can see the difference in size.
The reason,
there, is
exactly
useful.
that. What I wanted to show you when we talk about the A4, which I thought was a big platform and a big machine anyway. But you can see when I put it on, you can see just how big that Gemini Pro is, and you can see this one's got a 9-inch opening. This one has the 12-inch opening. But you can see visually just how big that beast is. It is a monster of a machine, but it offers you the same as the original, as the Junior, as the Go. It's the power, the precision, the die cut, the edge-to-edge technology in terms of die cutting. Absolutely phenomenal. But I just wanted to give you a quick visual, Becky, because it just shows you. Because I always think this is big, but when you see it at the side of the beast, the big Pro, the Gemini Pro, you can understand why why it proved to be so popular when we first launched this. We could not keep up with the stock levels. We really couldn't, because people absolutely fell in love with it. It offers you so much more as a crafter. Bigger space, larger potential, which means in terms of crafting, and especially for yourself, Becky, as well, when you want to work on your bigger projects, it offers you so much more because of that space. Yeah,
I can completely agree with that. The next one we have in the Gemini family is the Gemini Junior, which is the smaller one here. So this is the penultimate sized one, which is the electric machine. So this is £125.99 or £100.79 if you're a platinum price, on platinum price. So these again are UK only, these particular ones. The next one we're going to go to is the Gemini Go, which is the smallest of the electric machines. So this is really quite small. It almost is it reminds me of like a credit card machine. It's that kind of size, but yeah, it's almost a travel one, isn't it? If you've got some power.
And the thing about the Gemini Go, can I just tell you, is it is electric. I just want to quash all those things that I've heard out there. It's an electric die cutting machine with a platform of 3x6.
Right.
So that means, in the terms of like your MIDI, it's the same size as the mini plates. However, the reason it's called the Gemini Go is because it's a portable machine that can work with and I say battery. Do you know what I'm talking about with a cable?
Yeah.
And it'll tell you, it explains it all on what cable you'll need. Actually, we sell the cables. The only thing we don't sell is the battery pack. But it means you can charge your battery pack up, and then you can take your little Gemini Go out with you. So when you go to these places, and I've been to them before where we've had to wait in line for machines to do die cutting, you don't have to do that with the Gemini Pro, your Gemini Go. Pro Go. I'm going to get it right. The Gemini Go, because you can take it on there, and you don't need electricity if the place hasn't got electricity. Well, I'd be a bit worried if it didn't, but you don't have to have the electricity. The reason it's the portable, but it is an electric die cutting machine and embossing, and it has the plates and the platforms and everything that you need, and it is absolutely a phenomenal machine in itself.
Wonderful. And again, this is US only. It's £129. Put my teeth back in. $125.95, or platinum price is $100.76. The next one we're going to go to is the MIDI, which is the hand cranked machine. So this is the one, you can't quite see it. Shall I just pick it up? You can have a proper look. So this one is one that you're going to turn by hand. So this one is super portable. This is the largest of the sort of non-electric ones that we do, the manual ones. So you can, this I find really useful. I've got one of these, and I've also got the next one down, the smaller one. I'm obviously a little bit addicted to Geminis as well. So the price for this is £62.99 or $80.95. Platinum price is £50.39 or $64.76. And then the last one is the mini. So you can see these two side by side, the size difference that you've got here. But these are, again, hand turns, so it's a manual one. But it's particularly good because you can pop these ones on top of your normal Gemini to save a little bit of space. And I found these were really good, both of these, when I was making lots of flowers for Christmas, when I was doing Christmas cards, because I could be running my normal dice for my card making through the Gemini, but I could also be sort of turning these and getting all my flowers cut at the same time. So this is a £21.59 platinum price or $32.36. So I'm going to go over to Debbie. You're going to show us some other bits and pieces.
Well, I'm going to talk through all of the machines. I'm going to talk about the sizes. I want you to think about the MIDI and the Mini as being the equivalent of the Gemini Junior and the Gemini Go, because of the platform, the size of the mouth, the platforms that you put in there. It's just slightly different because there's not as many plates with the manual machines, which means it's portable, it's easy to use, it's great for kids, grandkids, you on the go. Mine sits on the top of my original machine, my Mini, because I tend to use that. Well, I tend to use it nearly every time I craft, I'm not going to lie. So I use all of those, but I will go through each one individually and tell you the reasons why I love them and why I know you love them too. And anyone who's joining us new today, I will tell you as well why I think you might need them, why I think they're an essential for you as a crafter. But we're going to talk about the original. I'm going to start with my, I call it my baby because it's not my baby really at all. But this is the machine. This is going to sound really cliche, and I don't mean to sound cliche, but it did change the way that I crafted. It made crafting enjoyable again. I will get into a stage with the manual machines and the other electronic machine because I've had them all. Let me tell you, I've had practically everyone on the market up until 6 years ago, when I went to a Doncaster show and I saw a lovely demonstrator and she was die cutting some materials that I thought, how on earth is she doing that? She showed me what she did, and I'm not kidding, I bought it there and then. I absolutely fell in love with the machine and the capabilities of what it can do. So this for me is where my heart lies. I'm going to lie. I literally do use this every single time I craft. And I use both my large plates and my Gemini Junior plates because they fit in here as well, but we'll talk more of that in a moment. So when you get this home, you will get in your box, you will get the machine, you'll get the cable. I'm just going to turn that around just for a little bit because I know it sounds really stupid, but there may be new crafters that haven't got a clue. You're going to plug your plug in. There's a little flicker switch here at the back as well that operates. This is the back of the machine, which has got a little door on, I'm going to call it, little door, back door on there. You've got the powerful legs. Now, I talk about the powerful legs, and I mean this in a nice way. It's one of those machines that doesn't bounce across the counter.
Yeah.
Because I've had them. Now, it's still a weighted machine, but it's fairly, I'm going to say it is portable. Yeah. I mean, it depends on how good you are with your lifts and your weights and things like that, but it's still quite a portable machine. It's got very convenient, handy places to put your fingers in to hold it and be able to do that as well. And then the machine itself has got this 9-inch opening. Inside, there are two manual sensors. Almost can see them there, Becky, I think I can. Two manual sensors, an optical sensor and a heat sensor in there, because Leanne always knew at some point that she wanted to have a foiling machine. So she wanted to have that inbuilt in there. Even though the foiling machine came down a couple of years later, she always wanted to have that. So that's got a heat sensor in there as well, which takes the hot, the hot foiling plate. However, going back to the machine itself, it has and this again, simplicity in itself, and it did change the way I crafted. I'll explain in a moment what I mean by that. You've got the on-off button, and then it illuminates in that lovely purple colour. You've got your, I call it the play and pause button. And it does mean you can stop the machine at any one time. So you can stop it if your phone rings, you can go and answer it. You can stop it if you want to stop something and then reverse it out, because this button here is the bit that you can reverse using this. So you would stop your machine and then you would reverse it using that one. For me, it really was the game changer. We were the original company that had those machines, this electronic touch of a button, reverse function on there. It's been lovely to see other machines that have come out that have like had that idea since, but we were the original ones that had that on there. So again, absolutely phenomenal, and a great machine in terms of precision every single time. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that. So keep it there onto one side, and I always start my demonstrations whenever I go out and about into demo areas like garden centres, things like that I've done in the past. Me and Jan, we've been and done loads over the years, and when people used to come into the store, I always started with a very intricate die, which I know you think, how bizarre, Debbie. Why would you start with an intro? Why would you not build up? Well, I want to show you, when I talk about the edge-to-edge technology, the precision cut, and this is one of my oldest dies. Now, dies have evolved over the years, and all of you lovely viewers who've been crafting for years will know what I mean. So, thin metal dies, thick metal dies, multimedia dies, they've all come along since. Now, originally, when dies first started, thin metal dies, they didn't have stuff like Teflon coated and things like that, which made it easy for them to release. And you used to have to use your sheets of wax paper and inside of cereal boxes. I know because I've done it.
Really?
So I do use one of my oldest dies to show how fantastic this machine works. And I make no mistake, because this one of my favourite creator cards, one of the first creator cards that we actually did at Crafter's Companion, but I absolutely love it. It has got hundreds of cutting lines, and I'm just going to bring the poker tool to just describe. If you look across there, we're talking that it's hitting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is just only a little fraction in there. Cutting points. When I say die cutting points, raised elements. This is a thin metal die. It's made of metal. It's got the pattern in it, and then it has the raised element to it, which is what the pressure of your rollers, because that's what it is, a machine. It's got the rollers in there that will cut through. It will put the pressure and give you that fantastic pressure that will then cut through your cardstock or your materials. Now, on this particular die, which is why I like to use it, is it's got what I call the flat edge as well, which means it's got areas what haven't got the raised elements. So all on the butterfly wings, it has what we call an embossing detail. Oh, apologies there, I forgot to turn my watch off. Excusez-moi, let me just turn that off. There we go. Somebody called it. That's that youngest daughter of mine.
Is it?
She's a little nuisance, she is. And she doesn't, because she's not into craft. She knows Mum works, but she doesn't know when I work, because she doesn't take any interest in whatsoever. So she rings at the most inopportune moments. So apologies there, it's now off. And I'll talk to her later. But yeah, going back to that, it's got die cutting and it's got embossing, and we talk about this. Now, in every one of your machines, you will get an instruction booklet and an instruction manual, which will talk about intricate dies. It'll talk about straight dies, it'll talk about embossing, 3D embossing, and I'm going to cover all of that in this show. However, coated cardstock, metal die. I'm going to go in with, now let me see if I can remember where I've put my plates, Becky, because I was so organised earlier. All your plates that you're going to get. Now, I remember when I first bought my first die cutting machine, my manual one, I had to go out and buy extra plates to do extra things like embossing, to cut things like, honestly, I was like, what on earth? Whereas you're getting everything. Can I just show you what you're going to be getting so that you're all aware? Because we need to remember there are new people joining us all the time. So, you're going to get 2 clear, what I call cutting plates. I'm just going to lift that off there. So you're going to get 2 of these. This is going to be your top and your bottom, with the exception to a few things. So this is where you're going to cut into the surface. And you've got, when I say 2, it's actually 4, because both sides of that you can actually use. Okay. So you've got a clear cutting plate. You have a metal shim. And in your instruction booklet, it's to talk about how to use your metal shim. Like I will tell anybody who will listen to me, get to know your machine first. Use the book as a guide. But I'm going to give you that 101 right now. We've got the plastic shim in there as well. We've also got the rubber embossing mats, which is another shim. And when I say shim, different depths. Each one has got a different depth to it. And obviously this one's got the rubber element to it. Now, the next one I've got in there is the magnetic sheet, which is magnetic on both sides. Now, going back to the original, it was a purple cutting plate. It was a black mat that only had one side. We've now moved on over the years, and we've got this beautiful one that's got grids on there that you can use, but magnetic on both sides. So, with that said, in your instruction booklet, it'll tell you, and this is why I say about getting to know your machine, because in your booklet, in your intricate die, it will tell you to use your metal shim. I'm going to show you that you don't need to. We talk about pressure, we talk about the longevity of your plates, we talk about flipping and rotating and things like that. What we forget to tell you is, get to know your machine, work it out, and literally try it before adding all of the plates in, because that's where human error, normally 9 times out of 10 it's human error. So I'm going to go in. Now in the booklet it will tell you to put your cutting plate down, your plastic shim, your magnetic shim down, place your die blade facing upwards, cardstock over, and then your other cutting plate. I prefer to work in the reverse of that, and that's only because I like to see what I'm cutting into. So I've got my coated cardstock. I'm going to put my die down onto there. I'm just going to hold it with a little bit of low-tack tape just to stop my die from moving. This is a really powerful machine. It is the most powerful machine that's on the market, and it is always wise to hold it down if you're not using your die on your magnet. So I've got my plastic shim, the magnetic one, and then the other cutting plate on the top. At the moment, I'm not doing anything with my purple rubber embossing mat or my metal shim. And I have a way, I know, Becky, you probably use your metal shim a lot with your fabrics, and we'll come on to fabrics in a bit. But I can stop that machine. I can reverse it if I want to. I'm not gonna. I'm gonna just put it through its paces on the one cut. But you can start it back up.
And if you do the wrong sandwich, if you make it too deep, it's just not going to take it, is it?
So what will happen is the machine and the rollers and the sensors, it's the sensors that recognise. If you noticed, I just fed that through, hands-free, I just had to feed it in. The minute the sensors pick the plate combination up, it'll take it through. With the exception to the rule is if you've put too much in there or too much cardstock, or maybe I've done it before, I've once put 2 magnetic shims, don't ask, but I've tried, and it spat it back out, because the sensors are quite clever and can recognise if it's not quite right, and it'll say, excuse me, no thank you, and come back out. Now if it gets stuck at that point, there is a little troubleshooting button which we don't mention in the booklet, but you put your finger on that middle button, and I'm going to give it, it's a 101 on Gemini, so I'm going to tell you about it. On your middle button there, you will press it in, and the motor starts. So if you have got your stuck or jammed, don't get your hammer to it, don't get your chisel, don't get none of that. I don't want you doing any of that. You just press that middle button and it will pick, the motor will pick back up and it'll release it. And 9 times out of 10, if it's gone through and it shouldn't have gone through, it'll come back out, it'll spit itself back out. Very clever machine, you know, the technology on it is absolutely amazing. Now I'm going to turn this over so for a second you can see. Now I'm going to get rid of all the bits that are on here. Let's move that to one side. And I've now got, and if Charlotte can come in a bit closer, you'll be able to see this, where you've got all this intricacy. You can already see some bits have dropped out, but I need to finish off, and I'm just going to, if you can come in close, Charlotte, can you see? That's die cut beautifully. I know right now I could take that off and it's absolutely fantastically cut, but I want to finish it off with the embossing detail. Now, we are not the only company in this country or globally that do this to our dies. We have some dies that have got what we call the embossing detail. Do you know I told you about the flat bit that had no raised element? Well, this is when you now will take out your magnetic shim, and I'm just going to put my clear plate back down with my plastic shim. I'm going to leave the die facing upwards this time so you can see what I'm doing with this. But I'm going to pop on my rubber mat. And then lastly, I'm going to put the other clear cutting plate back over the top. Now you're probably thinking, what on earth are you doing, Debbie, with the blade facing up into the rubber mat? It's fine. It's a shim, it's a thinner shim, but it's the rubber mat, so it's not going to cut into it as long as you've remembered to take out your magnetic shim. If you keep your magnetic shim in, the chances are, if it does accept it, and I'm not going to do it, 'cause that's not the way to do it. If it was to accept it, the chances are when you take off your rubber embossing mat will be all crinkled. Or it could just spit it back out. It depends, but that's what I'm saying.
When you made it too thick, with that extra
too thick
magnetic shim,
it just needs to emboss this detail. So for that reason, that's why I've taken out the magnetic shim. I've already done the die cut. I don't need to do that now. And please believe me, don't put them through together thinking, oh, I'll do die cutting and embossing in one go. No, it's a separate. It takes the pass of the machine. That's all it takes. I think it's about 18 seconds on the large plates. If you're using your Gemini Junior plates, which will go through, you don't need to do that, Becky, because it'll only be about 9 seconds in total, which you can still do the same way that I've just explained. But I'm just going to tap this out, Becky. Give it a good old...
Yeah, I like the fact you do that with your dies, because that's what I do with mine. I gave them a bit of a bash on the side of the table.
I do. I always bash
some people don't
mine.
like that, do they?
I do. I give them a little bash on the inside of the table. Now, look at this. When you see the detail on here,
so intricate.
It's so much detail. And even down on the butterfly wing, can you see the embossed detail? And the inside of the flower,
Yeah.
they've got all that beauty. It's always well worth doing it, even down to the leaf design. We did that Sharon Callis one this morning, which I said to you, do that because it makes such a difference. It really gives that beautiful embossed detail. But take a look how gorgeous that looks. Absolutely stunning. And that's one pass of the machine with a die cut, one pass of the machine with the rubber embossing mat, not together, separate, but you've got that beautiful intricate die cut. Absolutely bang on, perfect. Now, I'm going to have a little break, Becky, just 2 seconds, because I'm going to get ready to show you. That's the die cut, that's the power, that's the precision. And literally, we sell these machines globally around the world, not just here in the UK or stateside. We sell them all over the world, literally hundreds and hundreds of thousands of them that we sell. And I can tell you, the reviews are insane. The only consumable part is the plates, but longevity of your plates, and we'll come on to that as we're going through this 101, how you can keep your plates going for as long as possible. But honestly, I've never changed. I've never gone back to whether I got rid of. For a long time, I couldn't get rid of them. Do you know when you spent so much money? I think, I can't get rid of them, I can't get rid of them. I'm telling you now, I've got rid of all of them. I gave them all to charity, every single one of them. I've only kept my Gemini family because it's a machine that never, ever lets me down, ever. And I genuinely mean that, and it's made crafting a joyous thing for me again, because I don't have to worry about shimming things up into the top right hand corner or popping extra bits of shim into the middle. I don't have to worry about that. There's always ways around about it, but I know that machine never lets me down. When I can get a die cut like that isn't Teflon coated, it's got no coating on there, and it comes out really easily, cut that precision beautifully and embossed details, I know that I'm onto a winner. And that's why I know that you love it, and the people that have already got the family love it too, and why it makes crafting not a chore. It really should be a joyous thing that you do, and that's why that machine is a must-have in any crafter's essential stash. And I'm going to talk you through the rest of it in a moment.
You're absolutely right. Lots of people messaging in saying, Joe said, good morning everyone, the Pro is my favourite Gemini. Blessed Crafter says the Pro is the only one I don't have. Maybe today is a day to complete your family. The Laughing Gravy says, how do I get a crafter's mug like Debbie? I'm not sure, we've got a few of them here, but I don't know. I'll have to ask the question to Leanne, I think, maybe. Eve said, looking at the Gemini Electric, I have the MIDI, but I need a bigger platform. Rhonda said, my Pro's name is Aki Bono, which is a famous Hawaiian sumo wrestler. Totally see why you've given it that name, because it is quite a meaty piece of hardware that you've got there. Lots of people saying they love their Pro. Marcy says, I've got the Mini first, then the Gemini, and recently the MIDI. I love them all. Linda said, I was going to get the Gemini and I will be getting dies. I'm very, very excited. Laughing Gravy says, can I put the junior plates through the MIDI?
No,
they won't fit.
The platform there is different, and I'll come to the MIDI in a little while. If you just stay tuned, I will come to that. But no, you don't use your Gemini electronic plates through your MIDI. It's completely different because it's a completely different plate combination. So I'll explain that in a little while. So stay tuned. Is that Linda? Did you say? Did you say her name was Linda?
Laughing Gravy.
Oh, a Laughing Gravy?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a nice name.
And Lenny says, when do you change your plastic shim?
When do you change your plastic
yeah,
shim? Do you mean when it no longer... So for me, because I had this question again on eShim, mine's still fairly straight because I do a lot of flip and rotating. But I suppose really it should last you a long time. I would say to you, you'll know yourself if you start to struggle with your plates, and there's ways around it again to flatten your plates with that flip and rotation, but you'll know yourself when it's time to get a new plastic shim. So it'll depend on how many times you use it and if you start to struggle with it, because really it's down to how much you use your machine. I can't say to you, oh, you'll do about 100 cuts and then you need to change it. I think it's down to you as a person and how much you use it and whether or not you can. You'll know what I mean by that. If it starts to, what's the right word? trying to think of the right word here, just give me a second. I think you'll know yourself. Yeah, you can get, this is just saying in my ear, to warp. Yes, they do. The plates will warp. We've got bench pressure in here, but it's that flip and rotate that will even it out. You'll just go in one, flip, back through, and it kind of keeps them. Instead of going like that, you will keep a nice even kilter. Look at his posh red thing. But yeah, you'll know yourself. All I tend to do, and Fiona once taught me this, was I used to put my plates underneath me. When I finish my machine and finish my die cutting, I stick them under the machine and it helps them as well.
Yeah.
I've heard about the hot water technique and I've heard about other things that I really wouldn't recommend. But honestly, you'll know yourself. When it starts to get difficult to be able to use your machine, that's when you'll need to get a new plastic shim. And you are the only person that will know that.
I found the flip and rotating quite difficult to remember what I was doing, and so what I put a little bit of washi tape with letters A, B on either end, so I knew which way to flip it around.
Yeah.
So otherwise I would think, yeah, I'm flipping it around, and then realise actually I've bowed them all because I flipped them all around the wrong way. I've not been rotating them the way that you should do.
Yeah.
Do what you say, not what I do. Some other items that we've got on the show today, and we've got our small guillotine. So this is a 6.25 by 8.75 platform that you're going to use here. So it's really, really useful. You've got that scoring board on there, so you can score on there as well. So that's really great. £17.99 platinum price, or $25.16. We also have the larger guillotine, if that's the one that you would prefer. So you can fit your 12-inch piece of paper or card onto here. So this is possibly, if you're going to be buying some of those larger paper pads, this is possibly the one that you would prefer to have. So this is UK only. It's £35.99 or $28.79. The other items we have, we've got a self-healing mat, which is this one here. Always great to have lots of cutting mats for you to be able to use. And this one's great because you don't immediately get like little marks all over it. It does tend to, it's quite magical where you use these self-healing mats, the way they do just seem to sort of cover up that little groove that you've made by using a rotary cutter or a craft knife. This is platinum price £5.03 or $9.32. And then finally we've got the wonderful glass cutting mat. This is massive. This is 13 by 19 inches. This is the key item I think most of us have on our craft table. You can drop glue onto it, you can drop ink onto it, you can do all sorts of different things. You can be using your alcohol markers and then picking them up with your paintbrush from the edge of this. It wipes clean, it's really sturdy. They're a great thing to have. So the price here, again, it's UK only, it's £19.79 or the platinum price is £15.83. So your key items that you can get today. So we're going to go back to Debbie for a few more demonstrations about the types of things you can do with your Gemini.
And I will go and touch on the brilliant guillotines that we do here with the small, the large, and the facility that it offers you in terms of scoring as well, and also the glass mat. The glass mat is my I call it a tool. I've said this before to a lot of people. It's not just a glass mat that sits on my desk where I just do a little bit of crafting. I use it for all sorts in terms of cutting with my craft knife and my ruler, in terms of putting inks onto there. You see Craig a lot when he uses his aqua pens. He puts his aqua pen down because it acts as a palette. There's all sorts you can do with it. And it wipes clean. All you need is a good bit of stick away, maybe if you've got some glue gubbins on there. Absolutely essential part of any crafters. And the fact of the matter is it's got all those sizes on there, from US letters to your 5x5, your 6x6, 7x6, all the measurements that you need when you struggle if you haven't got a guillotine and you've got your craft knife and ruler only. Because I'm always aware, again, not everybody can afford all of the essentials. We have to build up our stash. I did. I was one. They didn't just suddenly drop in my lap. I had to literally build up my crafty stash, but it's offering you something that will make crafting easier for you. The glass mat is an absolute must-have. Now we've talked about the Gemini. The Gemini is a dual functioning machine. I say dual functioning, but really it's a multifunctional machine for me, because for a paper crafter, it die cuts and embosses, and that's the dual functioning part of it. Die cutting, embossing. And that's why it's called the Gemini, because under the star sign, Gemini is a twin machine. But Becky is a soft crafter. Becky, Becky cuts materials and things like that on a regular basis.
Yep.
So for me, it offers everything that you need from paper crafting to multimedia and to mixed media as well. So it's an absolutely great machine for lots of different crafters, because I know there's a lot of crafters. Becky is a paper crafter as well as a sewist. We just have her here because we do our softer side of life, and she does all our shows for us with that. But Becky is also a paper crafter, so it offers you that dual functioning again, doesn't it?
And we don't all want a machine that just does one thing, do we? We want something that does everything.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Now, I will talk about the Gemini jewellery plates, because while we've got the Gemini jewellery plates, and like I said, all of these plates are available on our website, so you just need to go over there. Now, I think I've seen a message from Christine. I was looking and she was asking about the Gemini Pro plates. I don't know, Christine, I don't know the answer to that one, so I'll find out for you. It's probably going to be Monday before I can give you an answer, but I'm here on Monday, so if you just prompt me and remind me or send me a quick message, I'll find that out for you to find out when the Gemini Pro plates are coming back into stock. So we will answer your question. We're not ignoring you. I will definitely find that out for you, let you know. But yeah, your Gemini Junior plates are going to fit through your machine if you've gone for the original. So you could get yourself a set of, you'll get your plates that come with your machine. This will be the additional ones. And this means that you can run your machines, and I'm just going to pop them through to show you what I mean, sideways. And it cuts down the time. 18 seconds on your large plates, about 9 seconds on your small plates. And you can do everything with your set of junior plates through your Gemini. And this would apply. So Christine, do you know if you haven't got any option and you're needing some new plates for your Gemini Pro, until we find out for you, you could be getting hold of or using your Gemini and fitting them through sideways. Your large one will go through sideways into your Gemini Pro, just so that if you get stuck, you've got that option. Right, embossing, dual functioning, die cut and embossed beautifully. Embossing with plastic folders, stencils, is something completely different. And that's when I'm going to talk about 2D, I'm going to talk about 3D, and I'm going to talk about how you can stencil with your things like your emboss with your stencils, Debbie. So we'll talk about 2D first. 2D is one level of embossing folders. We do loads, lots of other companies do loads, and I'm using one of my very old trusty favourites here, Becky. I had this with my original machine all of 6 years ago.
Wow.
That's
and you're
the original.
Still using the same
I'm
machine?
still using it, yes, absolutely. So I'm going to put my coated cardstock into there, and this is a really, really easy plate combination. 2 clear cutting plates, done and dusted. That's it. Now, I did say, and I was talking to the ladies in Evesham, if you are using your large plates, use a couple of embossing folders in there at the same time, because the sensors it'll keep it on a nice even keel. But I'll just pop that in. And somebody asked me about crinkling in cardstock and things like that. If you have them in that way, you'll be absolutely fine. So feed that through. Machine does the hard work. You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is get ready to get the plates at the other end. That does all the hard work. Crafting made easy, made joyous, and it really truly is. And again, what I'm going to do is just show you the edge-to-edge technology, and I'll hold it there for Charlotte just for a sec. Hold it right way, Debbie. Edge-to-edge technology all the way across that piece.
Wow.
Not missed an area, not missed an inch, and I've not had to shim that up in any way, shape or form. Now, we'll move on to 3D. Now 3D, I did say to you, if you remember that your 2 cutting plates are your top and your bottom whenever you're running through the machine, this is the exception to the rule.
Right.
So a 3D embossing folder is made of a thicker plastic.
Right.
It's made from a thicker, because it's got 3 levels of sculpture. When I say sculpture, I mean dimension for your embossing, which why it offers you not just one flat level like a 2D does, which is just one raised level. This offers you 2 or 3 in some circumstances. So we're going to use that for that reason right now. And this is the exception to the rule when you'll change your platform up. I'm using another coat of cardstock. I've popped that into the centre there. And again, longevity wise, I would be putting a couple on there for me plates. But it's when you will then just use one of your cutting plates, Becky. So I'm going to move that out of the way. And this is when you're going to bring in your plastic shim and your magnetic shim. And what you're going to do is you're going to place your magnetic shim over the top, and the plastic shim, being the hardest of those 2, is what's going to go on the top.
Right,
and then you feed that through the mouth of the machine. That is for any 3D embossing folder. Now, do you know when I said to you, oops, hang on a minute, Becky, because I've just seen I haven't got my plates flush. This is a good way.
Right.
Normally when I'm at home, I don't have my machine turned away from me.
Does it matter when they're not flush?
they weren't flush, and it does make a difference.
Because does it mean that everything sort of shifts slightly as you're putting it through the machine?
No, do you know what you can do? Damage to your shims.
Really?
You can damage your shims. Don't forget there's metal rollers in there.
Yeah.
Those super tough and metal rollers. So yeah, you can damage you can take the edge off your magnetic shim if you're not careful. The same with your metal shim, it can curl it. So always have your plates flush. It makes such a difference.
Okay.
But yes, for this, I would definitely put them in the right place, Debbie. But look at this.
Wow.
Oh my God. And embossed on both sides, absolutely beautiful. And again, the edge-to-edge technology, look at that, is absolutely incredible. It really, really is. And again, that's just showing you how you can do 2D to 3D. And that's when you can then have a play at your stencils, because you can emboss stencils. But I am going to switch to my Gemini Junior plates just because I want to speed the process up.
So
when I can remember where my little thing is.
You could use stencils as embossing?
Oh, yeah. I didn't know that.
No.
I'll tell you who it were that I first saw it. I think, if I remember rightly, it was, I'm sure it was Sandra that I saw her do it with one of hers. I was like, didn't know you could do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I do it in my demonstrations now to show you.
Yeah.
So when you're doing this, now I've got a piece of coated cardstock. What I'm doing is I'm going to place my stencil onto my cutting plate. I'm going to put the chosen cardstock. Now I've used a high shine one just again to show that off a little bit. Now obviously I am, for this particular one, just going to hold it down with a little bit of low tack tape just into that corner to stop my stencil from moving. But this is when you're bringing your rubber embossing mat and put it over the top. Now again, when you're using your rubber embossing mat, you do not need this one.
Right.
So I'm going to move that to one side, I'm going to put my plastic shim on, and then I'm going to run the other cutting plate onto the top. And then I'm going to run that through the mouth of the machine. Now I've just switched to my Gemini Junior plates, just for a second, and run that through. It's as easy as that, and that's all you do. So it's your stencil first, your cardstock, and that, because I've got a coated one, I've put it on the top side of it, rubber embossing mat, plastic shim, other cutting plate, that's it. To emboss a stencil that you've got, and you've probably got loads. I saw her signature, she's always bringing loads, but look at that. I'll hold it there for a second. In fact, I might hold it that way, Charlotte, just so you can see it. There you go. Look how beautiful that is. For a stencil.
That's amazing. So you can, it's lovely to be able to use your one item for two different types of projects, isn't it?
Exactly. And that's why I like to show the embossing side. So we've done intricate die cut and emboss. We've done 2D embossing, we've done 3D embossing, we've done stencils as well. Sorry, Charlotte, I thought you were still there. We've done intricate, we've done 2D and 3D and stencils. I'm going to move on to Becky's side of the fence when it comes to fabrics. So just need a couple of seconds just to clear myself up, and we'll come back shortly to just do that. Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely. I just wanted to say hello to Elizabeth because it's her first time watching the show. Good morning, everyone from Tennessee. Hello, Elizabeth. It's great to hear from you. And if you are a new viewer, do just sort of drop us a hello. And if you've got any questions, drop those to us as well. And we'll see you in a couple of moments.
Welcome to Crafters TV. With more than 35 hours of live shows each week, it's your home for all things craft. We shine the spotlight on new and innovative crafting products with live tutorials and demonstrations. Join our family of craft experts where fun happens every day.
One that was really funny, Ben. You did.
It was better than your I'm a gnome and I live in a caravan.
I'm a gnome and I live in a caravan.
Can we flip that? We'll do it. Everybody's gone surfing, surfing USA.
Get creative and craft along. With our amazing deals, your next craft project is just a click away. Tune in live 7 days a week, or you can watch us on Catch Up at crafterscompanion.com, Facebook, or our YouTube channels. You can chat to us, craft along, and meet new friends by joining our online crafting community.
You entertain us. You give us a community to talk, in the chat. That wouldn't happen without you guys. It's like Crafters Companion is magical. There's magic here.
There's a show for every type of crafter, from first-time dabblers to full-time makers. Crafters TV. Create every day. Quick Buy. All your crafting must-haves in a flash. Achieve crisp, precise, and perfect die cutting results every time with the Gemini Accessories Plastic Shim. The idea behind the plastic shim is that it creates a thicker plate combination, offering an even more precise die cutting result with each pass. Simply pop a plastic shim between your cutting plates and then roll through your Gemini die cutting machine and voila! An amazing precise cut every time. Plastic shims work really well with detailed or thin metal dies. So if intricate cutting is your thing, then the Gemini Accessories Plastic Shim is your best friend. Quick buy. Get yours now. Quick buy. All your crafty must-haves in a flash. Make your die cutting tools last as long as your love for crafting with the Gemini Accessories clear cutting plates. Your metal dies are put under lots of pressure with each pass through your Gemini die cutting machine. So to make sure they cut crisp, clean, delicate designs for years to come, you need to look after your dies, and that's where the Gemini Accessories clear cutting plates come in. Quick buy. Get yours now.
Hello, welcome back. Our masterclass today is all about the Gemini. So if you've got any questions, if you just purchased a Gemini, you're thinking about buying a Gemini, please just drop us the questions in the chat so we can answer your questions. Maybe you want us to demonstrate using a particular machine so you can see how that works. Just drop us a little note and we'll be able to do that for you. But also we've got a load of glues here, so we're doing a little bit of a mini glue school. Our first set of glues are the tacky glues. So you get a pack of 3. So these are, these are your bread and butter if you want for a better use. I mean, you wouldn't put them on your bread and butter, but this tacky glue is the key one that you're going to be using for your crafting. So the price for this is £9.98 or $12.98, saving over 30% on this. Platinum price is £7.98 or $10.38. The next one we're going to is the all-purpose. So this is the one that you saw Debbie using earlier today. In fact, you'll see Debbie using all of these types of glues throughout the shows. So these ones are our clear multi-purpose or all-purpose glues, 3 packs. So basically you're buying 2 and you're getting 1 for free. And so the platinum price is £6.38 or $12.72. Then we've also got some of the foams. I'm just going to call them foams. I'm not going to say what they are.
So we've got foam pads and we've got circular one as well.
We've got foam pads and we've got
foam sheets.
We've got foam sheets
and the circular one, Becky.
Other foam things in a circular effect. So you could be using this. I'm not going to sing the song. Not today. Later on we will. We'll treat you to that later on. No, Jamie, stop. So all the foam that you could possibly need for all of your different bits and pieces that you're going to be making these. So absolutely great. Having these great big foam sheets is really useful if you're doing big projects. Obviously, the foam in the circular motion, again, is very useful.
There's 2 different widths there as well,
There's 2 different widths, yeah. You've got 2 different ones here.
And then the larger one is the thinner one.
Yes.
So do you know shaker cards? Perfect for shaker cards.
Yep.
Your foam pads, I think we're offering you different sizes, which is always very useful, because there's some projects you want a really thick and big one, and there's the smaller bits that sometimes you think, I want to lift it, but I want to lift it with a foam pad. Well, you can use the smaller ones, and then you've got the option of the foam sheets, which means you can cut your own size foam. I wouldn't be without mine. No. And honestly love my foam pads. And talking of foam pads, the king of foam pads himself, this deal would be right up your street, because they're absolutely fabulous. They offer you the lift to lift off your layers and things like that. Absolutely phenomenal, and that's a great deal again in itself. Look at how much you're getting for what that is.
This is a great deal. So this is £12.39 or $21.99. This particular one, I've got as a little gift from Debbie. It's in my drawer in the green room. And then the next thing we have are our red liner tapes. Now, red liner tapes, when I first started watching crafting TV, I saw people using red liner tape, and I'd never really seen it before. It was something that if I'd use double-sided sticky tape would be the kind of thing that I would use. But the red liner tape is a really superior product because it works. It is so super strong. So the first one we've got is the 3mm pack. So you get 3 packs of this. This is 3mm. So this is a very fine one that you can use. This is a platinum price £15.19 or $10.39. The next one we have is a 6mm size. So this one is double the size, double the width here. Again, it's a 3-pack pack. So this is £5.59 platinum price or $13.59. And then the final one is a 12mm. So this one is the quite thick one. This one's great for making boxes or some sort of heavy construction because it's nice and thick. This is £7.99 or $16.79, and if you're a Club Inspire member. So again, all very good, useful to have, and we'll be talking about all these different kinds of glues and adhesives throughout the rest of the demonstrations. So we're going to go back to Debbie for the next demo.
Yep, and we're going to still stick with Gemini for now, so it's going to be the original Gemini, but I'm going to talk about the other side of the way that this can work for paper crafters. But if you're into multimedia or mixed media, or you're a soft crafter like our Becky, this is going to be perfect machine, the perfect essential equipment in your craft room to be able to cut multiple layers of fabric, single layers of fabric. You could use paper crafting dies on fabric, and we'll show you that in a second and show you the difference there, because again, it just offers you so much power, so much pressure, absolutely every single time you come to use this. I think I'm going to switch up to my Gemini Junior plates though with this, Becky, just so I can go through this a bit quicker, so because we've got just over an hour left and we've got so much more that we want to get covered. But I'm going to talk about in terms of a multimedia die. Now, a multimedia die, I'm going to show you the two that I've got here because I have got what we call a paper craft die. Excuse me, I've still got bits left in it. And then a multimedia die. And the difference there is the size, and it's quite visual there. It's more of a flatter surface. I say flatter. Thinner surface, a thinner raised surface than what a multimedia die is, because a multimedia die will go through lots of different denser materials. Now, the power of the Gemini will cut through things like cardstock, multiple layers of cardstock. Yeah. It will also do things like materials, leather, faux leather, acetates, heavyweight acetates. Yeah. It does things like, as daft as it sounds, because this sounds really weird when I say this, sandpaper, please don't judge, but for mixed media, cuts through lots of different things from sandpaper to hessian to cork to Milo. If you want to make your own stencils, and you can do that with certain dyes, you could create, using your nesting dyes, you could create some nice little Milo stencils. You could be doing that because the Gemini allows you to do it, and the power of that is absolutely amazing. But it's the multimedia side, and we do a lot of multimedia sides. So also I'm going to say to you, if you want a multimedia die, you're going to get a sampler in your starter kit, because in the large one and the Gemini Junior, you do actually get a little bundle of dies from intricate dies, embossing folders, multimedia dies that come in the large of the Gemini and the Gemini Junior. That comes standard with your machine and plates. So you always get a little taste and you can use that straight away. So I'm going to use some leather. Now I am starting to get really low on my leather, and I know Sarah's got her own stash. I've got my own stash because when lovely Laura used to be here, she got me a big pile that I've been keeping to myself. I'm getting to enter it, Becky, so I'm going to have to find some of the leather.
I've got some leather.
Have you got some leather?
I've got some leather.
Don't be going chopping up your clothes, just use off scraps, of course. Yeah. But I'm going to use that multimedia die to cut through there. Now, on your instruction booklet, your multimedia die will tell you to use your metal shim. I'm going to tell you not to. Right. Because I know my machine. And I know the capabilities of what it can do and how it can cut. So I'm not going to use it. Now, I always say this, when people talk about longevity of things like your plastic shim, normally the plastic shim is the bit that hits it first, and that's when you can get some, I say damage, but when it can start to distort and things like that. So it's all about that pressure, and I always want to start with the lowest pressure, and if I need to add an extra shim, I can go in afterwards. There's no harm. There's no harm in doing it. Don't go at it full pelt. I always remember, oh God, this God lover, this lady, she come into the store and she said to me, my machine, look at the state of my plate. So I said to her, what have you used? She'd used a full alphabet. She'd filled the entire A4 plate. And then, get this one, she'd used magnetic, metal, rubber, she'd put all plates in. And I'm not kidding, no wonder the plates look like, the machine were fine. That machine, tough as old boots it is. But I put her plates, and I said to her, it's the wrong combination, you don't need that much. And it's that beauty of getting to know your machine. So anybody who's bought it today, or anybody who's just bought it and not used it and got it in the box, and I'm talking about you, because I know full well there are people out there that have got it in the box and not used it yet. Get it out and get to know it. Use the guide as a guide, and then get to know your machine by running a few different things through. That's exactly how I got to learn mine. And I had many mistakes, let me tell you. I did. But it's all about getting to know your machine. So I am just using, on this combination, I've popped it onto the clear cutting plate, facing down again into my material. I'm going to pop the plastic shim on, pop the other cutting plate, and run that through the machine. Now I've switched up to my Gemini Junior plates for this one. But again, it's all about that pressure. Now if it doesn't cut this time, I can then go in and add my metal shim.
Yeah.
Which is what the book would tell you. But I like to tell and I like to show people that it's not always about what that book says. It's a guide. Look how clean and crisp, trying to say the two words together, has cut through. Like our Sarah would say, a hot knife through butter. It's even beveled the edges around that, so it's no fraying. And that's real leather. And I wish we'd got smell-o-vision so you could smell it. Go on, have a little sniff. Go on, have a sniff. Can you smell it? Because it is honestly beautiful leather. Not pleather, not faux leather, although it will cut faux leather. Real, genuine upholstery leather that's cut through. And of course you can do the things like embossing it like our Sarah does, but I just wanted to show you how perfect that cut through without the use of the metal shim. Because that's what the book would say. Now, I'm going to remember, flip and rotate. Come on, Debbie, remember what you're doing here, girl. And did you notice I also had it in the centre of my plate?
Yeah.
I didn't have to go into the top corner, thinking pressure's up there. It's even pressure, the roller's even pressure across the whole entire plate, whether it be a large one, whether it be a small one. So, Becky, I'm moving into your territory now.
You are,
I'm going into the fabrics. Going into the fabrics. I'm going to bring in my metal shim, and this is when I'm using a multiple. Don't forget this was one layer. I am using, and I'm going to try and count this because I think I've put 8 or 10 sheets there, I can't remember, of my material. And I'm going to now introduce, and again I'm taking one of the dies that you will get in your pack. I'm going to bring this in. I'm going to deliberately go in the middle as well.
Yeah.
Now I know Becky, she's probably looking at me saying, well, I'd fill all my plate up. Because you would, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
You'd be able to fill all your A4 plate up with all your dies and cut out multiple layers. So if you're into your fabrics and your applique and all that kind of thing, this is going to be the perfect one for you. So I'm deliberately going in, but I'm adding the metal shim. Now because it's multiple layers, it's like the scissors, where scissors, metal on metal, need to meet. That's exactly what you need with this, to get that precise cut. Now I'm going to use my plastic shim again, so I'm going to put my plastic shim down, and then my other cutting plate on the top, and feed that through the machine. So again, we'll see how many it's cut. I'm not sure it'll cut them all, but we'll give it a go. Pop that through. That's the time that you'll need your metal shim. We'll show you one more with fabric and thin metal dies to show you what you can also do with the machine. So if I lift those off, let's have a look. Oh, well.
Perfect.
I mean, well, honestly, and that plate needs to do it needs to have that damage. And I say damage, it needs to have that mark.
Yeah.
It needs to protect the plate underneath, but it also needs to get that precise cut. I've literally asked it to cut through. And shall we count, Becky? Let's count how many we've done. Let's move that out of the way. Put those out of the way.
And this is just normal craft cotton fabric you're using?
This one, actually got this when I worked in Chesterfield. I bought a big, I do like fabrics, Becky. I know you might find that bizarre, but I do absolutely love fabric. So we've got 3, we've got 4, we've got 5, we've got 6.
And this, for me, as a soft crafter, is a real game changer, to be able to cut all of these with so much ease and so quickly makes a massive difference.
Right, so what you've got there now is 8 pieces of material cut through. Now, I mean cut through to precise. And like you said, Becky, it saves time, there's no fraying, and that shows you just what you can do. The last one I'm going to show you before I move on to our manual machines, because I do want to go on to the manual machines, because they're Gemini, they're part of the Gemini family, just a different plate combination. We've still got loads of time. We've got an hour, we'll still go through the guillotines, we'll still go through the scissors, still the glue, but I do want to move on to 2 of my favourite machines, which are the manual machines. But last demonstration on my Gemini, and these demos that I've just shown you will work on the Pro, will work on the original, and will work on the Junior. And the difference with the Junior is that your foil press machine will fit through the Gemini Junior with ease if you already own a foil press. And if you haven't, stay tuned, because a bit further down the line there is going to be some foil press machine shows. That's right, yeah. Now, this is where I'm taking a paper craft die. Now I'm going to clean it, because I did notice when I did this last I didn't clean it. Rather naughty of me. But it's a paper craft die, and it's one of the scissors ones. I've had them absolutely years. You know the thinlets they have? It's one of I've had for a long time. I did have a selection of them, but I do love them, and I'm not going to use them all, so I just use this one. But I've got some of your favourite, Becky, some glitter fabric.
Yeah.
So it's fabric with glitter on
How do
there.
you know it's my favourite?
Sparkly,
Yeah,
Becky.
yeah,
You're like
I know.
me. You're like me. Now this is when I'm asking it to cut through a thin metal die into fabric. So it's not the same way as what we've got with a thicker multimedia die. So again, I'm going to pop it in the middle. I'm going to pop that down. This is the only time that you're going to bring in your plastic shim, your magnetic shim, and it is the only time. You will not do this with a multimedia die. Can I just stress that? Just in case you're watching, this is just because that is a paper craft die going into material. But I'm going to place my plastic shim, magnetic shim, and the other cutting plate. On a multimedia die, that is not the combination. You've just seen me do two ones with leather and with multiple layers. This is a paper craft die with a fabric, and that's what I just want to stress about getting to know your machine. And that's the only time you will put your magnetic shim in, because you don't use magnetic shim, do you, Becky, in yours? No, because you don't need to. Again, the plate takes all the hard work, and not the plate itself. But when I take this off, and I'll just peel it off gently so you can see. Again, it's a bit like that hot knife through butter analogy, but just shows you that fabric will cut through with dies, with paper craft dies, but it's just the combination that you use, and it's about getting to know your machine and your fabrics. But look at that, and I'm going to pop that on my hand. Let me get rid of the other two little bits because it'll annoy me. But just to show you the power of the machine, paper craft die material, it's about that platform, it's about those shims, about what you can do with your machine. So that is literally a 101 on all of our electronic die cutting machines, and in a second I am going to show you all about the MIDI and the Mini.
Fantastic. Michelle Litzby, you said, I love embossing napkins. Barbara said this is a great masterclass, learning a lot. Tell CC thank you from me. Jill says, I've got a question. I bought a metal milk can and I'm looking to decorate with bees and butterflies. Which glue is best?
What was that again? Sorry, Becky?
She's bought a metal milk can and looking to decorate with bees and butterflies. What glue is best?
A metal milk can?
Yeah.
Chunky glue? Hot glue?
Chunky glue and hot glue.
Yeah, hot glue gun.
Yeah.
We haven't got them on the show. Is it Betty, did you say?
Jill.
Jill, sorry. Give you a new name, Jill. We haven't got them on the show, but they're on the website. 3D Collal glue, or chunky glue, put it in and it'll come up, is a thick, gloopy glue, better way to describe it, but it will set really quite hard. The only difference there, and this is why I was going to say the hot glue gun, is because the hot glue gun dries quite quickly. It's quite a quick dry, and it's perfect for things like that. So yeah, you wouldn't be using all-purpose or tacky glue onto metal. You wouldn't be doing that. These are our glues, water-based, solvent. You wouldn't be able to get your die cuts onto there. I would use your hot glue and things like that.
Right, okay.
So I hope that helped. I hope that helped.
Okay. Yeah. Linda said, I'm new to this type of crafting and have been wanting the Gemini to become available. Love how you're explaining everything. Thank you. Linda also said, this might be a stupid question. This is actually a question for Jamie. I paint with acrylics on canvas. Can I emboss on canvas material so the dimensionality of the canvas would actually look 3D? Jamie, as you're you work a lot with acrylics. Yeah. Jamie was saying if you've already stretched the canvas over your frame, it's going to be quite difficult to get that 3D effect. But if you're using the canvas before, if you're buying the canvas as fabric rather than a finished box canvas, then yes, you could potentially do that. It's probably worth giving it a try. Sandra says, for me to tell you, Debbie, to mention to everyone, and I mean everyone, it makes a fridge magnet at some point by cutting into your magnetic shim. We've all done it, and I don't want anyone to get upset. Just accept it as part of your learning curve. That's exactly what I did the first time I got my die cutting machine.
That was my first faux pas when I first got my Gemini machine. I cut through my black magnetic shim the very first time with a love heart, because they were love hearts that you got back then. I genuinely did. I've still got that little love heart that's still a little reminder to myself to make sure I put the die the right way around. So yes, everybody does it. Don't be afraid, honestly. Don't worry if you do it. Honestly, it happens. It happens, Becky. It does.
And you do it once, and you don't generally do it again. Yeah, so we've all done it.
Yeah.
And so you're going to do a demonstration with the MIDI now, aren't you?
Yeah, well, I've got me embossing folders, and I've got me MIDI, and I've got me mini. So I thought, you know what I'm going to do? Plus this will help me show you about the guillotine as well, because we'll talk about the guillotines. So I'm going to use I'll start with the MIDI. Now, both of these machines, and I'm just going to bring this in for a second so you can see the size difference, is that one is a mouth opening of 6 inches, and one is a mouth opening of 3 inches. The platform to this is 3 by 6, and this one is 6 by 9. Now, you can use and it depends which one you want to go for. I know plenty of crafters out there that have got both. They both do, you know, I suppose it depends on the portability. I have my electronic die cutting machines upstairs, but downstairs I have my manuals, because it just means I don't have to, you know, if I want to do a little bit of crafting, I've got these in the room, got my little one of those Calyx units, and I keep them in there. However, my little one sits on the top of my big Gemini. I don't ever craft without crafting with this, because I always use it for anything like flowers, sentiments, those kind of things, when I don't want to use my big plates. Anyway, the simplicity without the electricity, as our Ben would say. It has, and you've already heard them, the most amazing suckers. The little suckers that are the feet, and these are really super, super strong. And when I say super, super strong, Becky, I'm going to use my glass mat actually. Whenever you pop it down onto a surface, you literally pop it onto your surface and then give it a little push. So it just attaches, the suckers attach to your surface when they hit your table. But then you can just go.
Amazing.
And that shows you how powerful they are. How powerful is that when I can lift up a very heavy glass mat, may I tell you? And believe you me, it is heavy. I once dropped it on my foot. Came out my boot, dropped on my foot and broke my toe.
It broke your toe?
Broke my toe. Yep, absolutely. I did that at a
Industrial
demonstration.
accident, that was.
Oh, honestly, so painful. But it will work for anybody without any electricity, right-handed or left-handed, because you're simply going to turn it over. And all you're going to do to release it from them suckers, from your chosen glass mat or surface, is you just rock it gently forward, back or forth, whichever way you want to do. And you can hear that. Yep. Really easily. And of course you can have it, now I'm right-handed, so I would put it that way. Now Michelle's left-handed, so she'd probably use it this way. It doesn't matter. It works both ways. So it's absolutely a fabulous machine. But I'm going to show you again. The system to this could not be any easier. Now, Debbie, just remember where you put your platforms, because there is only 2 plates. This one will be used for 2D embossing. This one is your platform for everything die cut. And when I said about it again, think about your platform. It's a plastic folder. It's a plastic folder where your dies go, and it cuts on this side, this side, this side and this side. It's one that you keep flipping, rotating just by opening, shutting, and keep using this until it goes no more. Mine's well loved. You can see mine's already well loved. I've still got loads of use out of that. But that's where you put all your die cuts into, and this is where you use it for embossing. Now, I did say that I was going to just quickly bring in my guillotine, and I'm going to do this so I can show you with the guillotines. I wouldn't be without mine. I am not going to lie.
Do you have both sizes?
Both. I have both. And I have both for a reason. Because again, depending on my project, depending on the size that I want. This one, if I bring it in for a second. If I get this right, because I always forget my measurements on this, Becky. But it is, well, I say 6. It goes up to 6 1/4 in terms of your measurements along there. Inches on the bottom, centimetres on the top, and integral, is that the right word? Integrated. And you can hear it. Scoring tool. So it's a perfect one for a scoring board, sorry. It's a perfect one for taking out and about with you, but I just use this for smaller cuts. It is super, super sharp. So let me just tell you, this is a blade. This is not, you know, it's a proper blade. So I've just got to say to you, when you've got younger fingers around, make sure that they're supervised or you do the cutting. It is a proper blade. Ask Jan, she'll tell you, because the first time she used one, she put her fingers underneath and sliced them. So I want you to remember this. This is I always want you to remember, but it is a self-sharpening blade as well. Leanne sourced this, not from a manufacturing company that die cuts. She sourced it from a factory that specialises in blades. And that's why, and you can hear that? Yeah. I love that sound. I will never tire of that sound. And that's on both. Difference being the size. Portable, still got your little scoring tool in the top, integrated scoring board in there, inches and centimetres on your board. The difference with your larger one is the platform. So this is a really large one. I say large one, I'm going to turn it that way so you can see. It's about 13, 14 inches, I can't remember, Becky, off the top of my head. But going across, if I just bring this out, you can see a little area here. This is where your leg lives, or your arm, and you simply pull it out. It sits and pushes inside. I'll try and show you because I'm trying to do it with the angles that we've got here. But you simply open it up, bring it out to the full potential, drop down the leg, sit it on your work surface, and make sure this bit is right out and up, because it will make a difference, believe you me, if you haven't pulled it right out and extended it right out. But this goes up to 13 inches.
Wow.
So your 12 by 12 papers, 12 by 12 cardstock will fit onto there and cut perfectly. And of course, up to about 7 1/4, you've got the scoreboard as well. And I'll show you that in a second. But what I'm going to do is, going back to my MIDI, I'm going to cut myself a couple of pieces of cardstock, and I want them to measure just under 5 by 7. So please remember, blade, handle where you can hold what we call the finger grip. Pop this through there, and I'm going to go just a fraction down to a 1/4 of an inch down to 5.
Okay.
Now, when you're lining this up, we always talk about the lines because you've got the integrated scoreboard. Get this the right way. Because you've got the integrated scoreboard, you've got a bit of a thicker line than you would on a standard guillotine. Because on standard guillotines, they don't have the usable scoreboard with it.
Yeah.
So when you're taking your measurement up, I always go up to and what I mean by this is the first line, and that'll give you that precise measurement of, and this is a 4 3/4. Push it and always make sure it's up to the butt of the board, so the butt edge of the board, and slice down. There's no other satisfying spot,
And you always cut
honestly.
with your card at the top rather than at the bottom.
You what though?
Do you always cut with your...
I do,
Yeah.
but you can cut, and that's a really good point, Becky, because your measurements from your inches and your centimetres are on both. Now, if you measure in inches, do it from the top, because the inches are on the top part.
Right.
There. When I move my board down, when I move the scoring, which is a scoring board, but when I move my guillotine down, at the bottom is where your centimetres are. So it depends
Right.
on how you work. I work in inches, so I always use the top. If you work in centimetres, bring your cardstock down to the bottom and use it from the bottom, and it gives you the same precise cut. And I'll go into where I want it to go. So I'm going to go down the 1/4 of an inch. I'm taking it to that first line. Hold it down with your finger grip and cut down, and you've still got, no matter where you cut it, middle, top, bottom, it depends on how you work, which is why Leanne thought about this. Not everybody works in inches. Other people work in centimetres, and you can take it down to the centimetres. So if you work in centimetres, cut from the bottom. If you work in the inches, cut from the top. And if you're like me that works in both, do as you want, is what I'm going to say. Now, I'm just going to do that again, Becky, because I want to cut 2 pieces. But look at that precise. I mean, it's clean. There's no fraying. And it self-sharpens itself. It is absolutely an amazing tool and an essential in any crafters stash. We all need a good guillotine.
And I noticed that it cuts, I've got a couple of other sort of cutting devices where they're like a blade on like a rotary cutter.
Yes.
And you know, if you've not got it super sharp, you get that kind of tear part the way through the cut. But I always find that it's super sharp, it's super precise cut.
I once bought one on recommendation of a demonstrator, but it was so hard to work and it was tough to cut. And honestly, it would probably worth, and I spent about £40 on this, and I ended up giving it away because I just couldn't work with it. But our guillotine, not only is it the guillotine, super sharp, super precise, and I never, ever not use our guillotine. But it's portable, it's got the scoreboard in there, it's very usable. And the scoreboard, I'll come to the scoreboard in a second, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you now how to use your MIDI, and then we'll go to the Mini in a second, but I want to show you the platform. So, talking about 2D, shall I get my 2D folder back out, Becky? Where's my 2D folder gone?
Can I ask you a quick question while you're getting that? Elaine said, my magnetic... Blah, 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 blah. She didn't say that at all. My magnetic shim is warped and no longer lays flat. Am I using it when it's not needed? Is it considered a consumable?
metal shim.
Her magnetic shim is warped and no longer lays flat. Am I using it when it's not needed? Is it considered a consumable?
It is a consumable. Every single plate in the Gemini is a consumable. And at some point, and I'll tell you, because I never ever get the whole set like a frat body, because some have got more longevity than others. My cutting plates are the ones, surprisingly, that last me the longest. Because I do at home flip and rotate. When I'm on air, I'm shocking. I put it through and then put it down, forget where I've cut it. But at home, I'm quite conscious of what I'm doing. But yes, every single one of them are consumables. The magnetic shim, what I would just use it is as a shim now, rather than if it's warped a little bit and it's took some indentations and things like that. What I would do is use it as I've been doing, sandwiching it in between just as a shim.
Right,
rather than use it, I mean, it depends if you want to use your magnet, but maybe face your dies facing downwards and just have that then as a shim rather than a usable one. But if you want it, obviously it is a consumable, and at some point you will need to place it. And if that's how you craft, then get hold of one. I think they'll be on the website. Go and check them if they're availability in stock and things like that. Now, going back to the MIDI, and I'm going to start with me, and I genuinely mean this, it's the same size platform as a junior. So it's 9 by 6. So I'm going to pop that down onto there. Now I've got a 2D folder. So I'm not die cutting. I'm actually using the purple shim. So when you're doing a 2D, and I'll go back to my lovely old faithful, I'll pop my cardstock into there. And this is how you do a 2D embossing. So when we've got, and I'm just going to get me cardstock into there, perfect, there we go. We're going to now just pop that onto the top. That's it. That's all you do. You don't sandwich it, it's just placed on, and it's used as a shim. Now I'm going to try and do this back to front. Please excuse me, because it's always difficult, but just run it through, and it's just a turn of the handle. And it's not one of those heavy handles that's really, you know, a chore or a chug to get through. It's really, really quite simple, but take a look.
Perfect.
Perfect. Edge to edge. Not missed anywhere, looks absolutely stunning. And then 3D, again, well, if you thought 3D would go just on the electronic cutting machine, let me tell you, it doesn't let you down on this one either. Let's go in with my swirly one. Let me feel where my 3D push through. Yep, that's you. So I'm going to put this in. Now 3D, get this, Becky, get this. Don't need anything. You just put your paper, your cardstock in there, and then you're going to feed it through the mouth of the machine, and you're going to run it through. Back to front, maybe back to front. You don't need any platform. It's all there for you. And again, look how gorgeous it looks. Absolutely stunning. And you can see the 3Dness of that. Straightforward, so easy. It's probably one of the most easiest plate combinations ever, because that covers embossing, and then I'm just going to cover a bit of die cutting, because I've got one of the dies that's on the show. And I think it's one of those beautiful frame dies. This is one of those, I think this is the daisy frame. And I've purposely chosen this one just to pop in. It goes into this folder. It's as easy peasy, lemon squeezy as this. It's so, it really is true what Ben says. It's simplicity without the electricity to perfection. And again, I'm just going to fold that, pop cardstock, die, facing down into that cutting plate, feed it through the mouth of the machine. Remember going back to front, Debbie. I wouldn't be doing this at home. I certainly won't be die cutting back to front, but it's just so you can see how easy this is to achieve and get that lovely die cut again. Let me just give it a tap. Get rid of all my bits. Let's poke out all my extra little bits just to show you, again, the precision on your die cut is absolutely amazing. It has the name Gemini. There is it there? Yep, Gemini in front of the MIDI. And the reason being is, although it's not an electronic machine, you've got the power and the pressure that you would get, but in a manual form. And it means you can do things like die cutting fabrics and stuff like that. You can still do it. I've done it before when I used me, do you know the little characters? I use them with some felt. Cut them through perfectly, but it shows you how to do that. Now that's exactly the same as it would be with the MIDI. It's the same combination. If I just move that to one side for a second, because I'm conscious time is moving on. But again, powerful little suckers that are on the bottom. You simply do the same thing. You push it down onto the top of your glass mat, and then let's lift up and show you how powerful, even on the smaller machine. Small but mighty. It's a bit like me, Becky, a bit like me. And then you rock it forward or rock it back to release it. The same platform in here is plastic folder for your die cuts, purple shim for your 2D embossing folders, and as if by magic, I've got those down here just to quickly show you. It's exactly the same. This is a 3D. We have these on our website. You can go through 3D. I'm going to have to do it this way. I'm so sorry because doing everything back to front, it's a little bit too much for me. 3D, perfectly.
Wow. And
And
it's
then
super quick, isn't it?
Super quick, which is why it sits on the top of my, and I mean this, I use this machine so many times when I'm crafting. 2D folder, it's exactly the same. You're popping it onto the top, you're running it through the mouth of the machine, literally hardly any pressure. In fact, shows you how much it's not moving because I've got one finger just literally resting on the top, and you've got your embossing done.
Incredible.
2D, 3D, and then all your die cuts go into there, and you're going to die cut, literally, and use all 4 sides. These are consumables. I tell you something, you'll probably never replace that one. I don't think you'll ever replace that. This is the consumable. They come in a pack of 2 or 3, if I remember rightly. And the same with your MIDI and the Mini. But honestly, if that wasn't a quick 101 with the Mini and the MIDI, to show you the power and the precise die cutting and embossing that you get with a manual machine. Maybe this is too much for you to get right now. Maybe it's not the right one for you. Maybe you're looking to extend your Gemini family. Maybe the MIDI or the Mini is the right one for you right now. You get the plates, you don't have to buy these platforms separate, they come with your machine. You simply just get your cardstock and you're away to go. It's as easy as that. That's how easy these machines are.
Fantastic. I have got a couple of questions that have come through. Jeanette says the guillotines are great. I use them every day and I had them for ages. They've still got a crisp cut every time. But Robbie has said, what am I doing wrong if my cuts are ragged? And Val has also said, when I cut on my large guillotine, it hitches halfway down and leaves a jagged edge. Does it need adjusting somehow, or is it time for a new one? Sounds like maybe it's time for a new blade. Perhaps you
It
put something in there
may be
to
that your,
damaged.
this sounds really daft, but it may be that your arm just needs adjusting.
Right.
Your arm of your guillotine. So
Not
do you
this
know,
one.
Underneath, not this one, not that one. I'm not going to adjust that one. But it just might mean that, do you know, underneath is like a little bolt. So I'm just going to hold it there for you. It might be that needs adjusting because, there it is. It just needs tightening up. That will be also as well. Do you know if you've got an arm that drops, so it really on your guillotine lifts up, stays up. That's how it should be. Self-sharpening wise, the blade, to self-sharpen, the blade needs to contact the blade. Now, I've had this before where people, and I'm going to just let me bring in a squidget of paper just to show you what I mean. Normally with guillotines, I know people that want to force the arm away. So when they're cutting, they think they've got to bring it down. When you're bringing it down, it's not contacting the blade. It needs to be towards you. So you get that, can you hear it? So it could be user error. I don't mean that in a horrible way. It could be that it's just a bit of user error, and that because normally on a guillotine you pull away because you have handles, and they pull to one side. Your blade should be contacting the blade so that you get that, and that's where the self-sharpening comes in, because it self-sharpens itself. Check, because you'll know if there's a gap. And if there's a gap, that's why it's jaggeding. That's why it's doing it. And then again, like I said, with this, you can go in. So that's under the tooth. Let's go back in. I can get a real tiny slither. We can go in as you know, and that there's no jagged edge. But that's because I'm bringing the arm towards the blade, not away from it. Can we just pull back just slightly, Charlotte, just so I can show you what I mean again? Just thank you. Oh, God. Look at me.
Mind your fingers.
Be careful when you're doing this. But again, just pulling that, holding that down, and then bringing the arm towards the blade.
So you're wanting it to make that noise. You're wanting to be able to hear that contact.
Crunch sound.
Yeah.
I've gone with a thicker one there. You can go thin, thick. We can go in a little bit more. So let's move it down a little bit. Again, I'm taking care when I'm lining it up, but again, bring that guillotine towards you. So when you're bringing it, you bring it towards it, not away. If you're bringing it away, you're going to get some jagged, and you're also going to force the arm out of its shape. It needs to make contact, and again, you can see with those pieces, and I'm not doing anything different. There's no jagged edges. They are perfectly done, and it just shows you how precise this can actually be. And I'm going to do one more. Again, making sure you get that lovely crunching sound each and every single time. And then, of course, you've got the scoreboard. Again, let me just bring in a piece of matte black cardstock. Again, all of these papers and that are already available. I'm going to go, let's do 6 by 6, 6 by 6. And you can see when I'm bringing it, because it's got a lovely handle here to hold. Let's go there so you can see it. You bring it towards the blade. So when you're cutting down, it's always tricky this, bring it towards the blade so you get that punch. I think that's where you may possibly just be getting the contact not right and why it's jagged and why it sprains the arm. That's what it's doing, it's spraining it. It needs to be contact on contact, clean, crisp, every single time. And then you've got your scoreboard. So I'll go in at 3 inches, take your scoring tool, take to the 3 inches, literally do exactly what we say with all our scoring, couple of gentle marks to do that, fold that over and then give it a nice score, and you've got your scoring board in there. There are no other ones out there. Ours is a guillotine and a scoreboard. It makes it really useful and an absolute essential when it comes to our tools. And that's why whether you go for the large one or the small one, or if you can stretch to it, get both. And I mean that because I use both, not because I'm greedy. I am a little bit, but I'm not because I'm greedy. It's just because when I'm working on a small project, I use a small one. Yeah. And that's the one that I take out and about with me more often than not than I do with my large one. Mm-hmm. But honestly, both offer you the same thing. Self-sharpening blade, integrated scoreboard, scoring tool, extendable leg on the large one. Absolutely brilliant pieces of equipment. And again, this sounds really cliche, changed the way that I craft it, made it easy. I wasn't struggling with that, you know, with guillotines. Absolutely a must have, and ask anybody who owns one, they'll tell you. So hopefully I've given you a little insight to that. Maybe you just need to tighten your arm back up, but like I said, when you're bringing it down, bring it towards you, towards the bottom end of the guillotine, and you'll get that precise cut, and it shouldn't jagged the edge, and you shouldn't be having to like sharpen it back up because it's a self-sharpening blade. Yeah, absolutely brilliant piece of equipment it is.
Lovely. Before I show you the card, I've got 2 little questions which I do want to get in. One is they're about using the Gemini. Jo Marie said, what's about using the cut and emboss folder? And also Christy says, can you get it to emboss like the bigger Gemini on dies that can be embossed too?
What, sorry?
So what about using the cut and emboss folder?
I can do that, I've got one in my bag.
And also Christy says, can you get it to emboss like the bigger Gemini on dies that can be embossed too?
You do the same thing as I did
same thing as before.
It's exactly the same thing. It's exactly the same thing, because on your bigger Gemini, you get the same plates and the same platforms. It's exactly the same. Right. So if you've got a die that's got a die cut and an emboss feature in the metal die, you do it the same way. So run it through first with your die cuts, pop that through, take out your magnetic shim, pop on your rubber shim, and then run it through and it'll do exactly the same. I hope that's what you mean. If it isn't, message me. Yep. My direct messages are open on my Facebook page. So it's Debbie Robinson, Crafter's Companion, Debbie with a Y. Find me, like and follow. Little cheeky plug there. Can I just say I'm nearly at 6,000 followers, let me just tell you. But honestly, literally, send me a message. There's a little message option on my page. Message me, and if I can explain a little bit more or do picture thing, I'll do that for you. I won't do it at 3 o'clock in the morning, let me just tell you. I will get to you at some point. I don't always have it, I don't sit there and watch everything coming through, but I answer them as they come along. So if that's what you want to do, absolutely do that. But I hope that answered that question. But I can do the cut and emboss. If you give me a second, I'll do that in a minute.
Lovely. And was it Cheryl? Because I haven't got that message come through, Jamie. Was it Cheryl? Cheryl said she just heard what you said about using the guillotine. She's used it just the way you said, and it's corrected the problem.
Oh, fantastic.
She was unconsciously pulling her hand away.
And you know what, Cheryl? I did the same, because my older guillotine had a handle on it, and I used to do it, and I used to bring it away, and I'm thinking, why is it not... And I remember going to demonstration saying, this guillotine's rubbish, it's not working. And I was like, yeah, but your blade's got to contact your blade, which is why I've always remembered it. Yeah. And honestly, I'm so pleased I was able to help you. I really am pleased to be able to help you answer that one.
Fabulous. Right, we've also got some card on the show. So we've got some matte back card. This is a 2-pack, so you're going to be getting 80 sheets in total. And this is £15 or $21. So that's £12 platinum price or $16.18. So $16.80. So it's basically buy one and get one half price. So that's your matte black. We've also got some craft cardstock. Again, this works out to be buy one, get one half price. So again, this is a 2-pack. You're going to get actually 100 sheets here with this craft cardstock. The platinum price for this is £11.98 or $17.98. I'm always going to be using, I use that loads at Christmas, far more than I use anything else. The next one is your Nina, your Nina card. So this is your super smooth card that's great for doing some of your using your colouring mediums. This one's used so much in all our demonstrations. This is a pack of 3. You'll get 48 sheets altogether. Platinum price is £8.80 or $13.60. Then we've got our watercolour card here. Again, 3 packs. You'll be getting 45 sheets in total. So this, you're going to be saving 35% on this. It's £9.50 or $13.50. Platinum price is £7.60 or $10.80. And then finally, we've got some of the acetate, which I was delighted to find in my drawer with my foamy circular product. This is your A5 heavyweight acetate. So this is 75 sheets here you're going to be getting, and £16.30 or $20.30, and that's a saving of 15%. So these are going to be absolutely great for all of the things. You're going to be buying your Gemini out of the box today, and you're going to be starting to craft with all of these. These are going to be great for going into your stash. But you're going to show us a few more things just after the break we're going to be having. So we're going to have a little break, grab a cup of tea, and we'll see you in a few moments.
We've had to make some changes to our shipping charges, and we want to keep you informed. With continued pressure on domestic shipments around mainland US, we've had to temporarily increase the cost of our regular 6 to 10 working day standard shipping service from $9.99 to $12.95, and our free shipping threshold from $100 to $125. We also have some really great news to tell you. We've introduced a brand new shipping service called Express Delivery. This is a fully tracked door-to-door service which takes 3 to 7 working days and costs $19.95. This option means you'll get your crafty goodies in your hands sooner, meaning less waiting and more crafting. We're also upgrading delivery services for our Gold and Platinum Club Inspire members, who will now receive priority delivery on all of their orders. And if that wasn't enough, we've upgraded these orders to our new Express 3 to 7 day service. Your patience and understanding throughout this very busy time has been amazing. So we'd just like to say a huge thank you, and we look forward to chatting to you again very soon.
Quick Buy, all your crafting must-haves in a flash. Draw, decorate, and customize your world with the colorful Spectrum Noir acrylic paint markers. Each premium paint marker gives opaque coverage on ceramic, glass, wood, and let's not forget paper, cardstock, and canvas. These versatile markers are filled with highly pigmented premium water-based paint, offering beautiful, rich, and smooth coverage. The colors can be blended together, and the fast-drying opaque paint is ideal for layering. A 3mm bullet tip offers smooth strokes, and a precision valve mechanism allows rich and consistent flow with no clogging. Quick Buy, all your crafting must-haves in a flash.
Here at Crafters TV, it couldn't be easier to get your hands on the latest crafty must-haves. Leave the hard work to us while you shop from the comforts of your own living room. Head to the Crafters Companion website to see our full crafty range, or hit the Shop the Day button to see all the new and exciting products featuring on Crafters TV. Once you've filled your cart, leave it to us to get your crafty goodies to you in super quick time, so you can get on with being creative. Crafters Companion, making crafty shopping a breeze.
Hello, welcome back. It's all about the Gemini and all the things that you can do with it today in our masterclass. We did have a message from Joe and Marie Romero about using the cut emboss folder, and so Debbie's going to show you how to do that on one of the Gemini machines that we've got today.
Yeah, and then we're going to move on onto the glues if that's okay. So just to answer your question about a cut and emboss folder, we do a lot in our range. I've just pulled a very old one out of mine because I carry like what I call my Gemini box around with me everywhere when I demonstrate my Gemini. So I've pulled a very old one out. I'm not sure if this is still available, but we do lots of cut and emboss folders. In fact, some amazing cut and emboss folders where you've got embossing detail and metal die in your folder. So I'm going to pop on my cardstock into my folder and pop this through. Now then, shall we go through the? Shall we do it through MIDI? Shall we go through MIDI? Let's go through MIDI. So I'm going to pop that down, and I'm going to find, because this is classed as a standard embossing folder, but it has metal in it. Now. Right. I normally put this through, and I will talk about the combination with the Gemini, but we'll put it through its paces and see if it does this, because this is embossing, but there is metal in. So it's always, I like to know this because I'll be totally honest, I never use a die cut in, I never use the MIDI with my die cut. Isn't that strange? We always have a personal favourite. Oh, perfect. I don't know why I worried. Why did I worry? So that's the combination with your MIDI, and I'll just pull all my pieces out. Let's see if these will fall out. Let's get rid of you. Let's get rid of you. Put out. Come on. I know you can come out. That's because it's one of me. I say one of my old ones. One of the old ones. Yeah, one of my little older ones. But yeah, it comes out. Yeah, perfect. I don't know what I was worrying about, Becky. So you can see that it's done the die cut through there. Oops, I forgot about the centre bit. Perfect. So that was using through the normal combination that you would have for a 2D embossing folder. When you use it through your, and let me just grab the other piece so I can show you, and then I've covered all bases there, because that's the MIDI. But if I show you through the Gemini, let's get rid of all my little bits. There we go. Through the normal combination of a Gemini Junior or the original or the Pro, you pop it in, and it is just normally your 2 clear cutting plates. So you pop that in with your 2 clear cutting plates, because again it's acting like a regular embossing folder, and I'm going to pop that in, sandwich that into the centre and run that through our machine. And again, what that does is it embosses and die cuts at the same time. There may be an exception when you just need to add this. If it's not cut through cleanly enough for you, or you want a little bit of an extra embossed detail, I'll just show you visually rather than run it through again. Just place it over the top. So normal combination, put your metal and then the cutting plate onto the top. Okay. But 9 times out of 10, I don't need it. Again, it's about getting to know your machine. See if I can flick all my bits out again. Get a little, there we go. Yep, there we go, perfect. So that's how you would do it. Let me see if I can get rid of all of them, because it drives me mad when I leave them in. I don't know about you, Becky, but I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. Perfect. It's cut through there beautifully.
That's great.
And that's how you would do it with a normal plate combination in your Gemini. So I've shown you how to do it in a MIDI, and I've shown you how to do it in your Gemini. And then we're going to move along to glue school. A little mini glue school.
Mini glue school.
A little mini glue school. Do you want to run through the deal while I get ready?
Yep. So we've got your tacky glue here. So if you get 3 bottles of your tacky glue. Excuse me. Bit of a frog in my throat. 3 packs of your tacky glue, and this is the one that you will see all of our experts using. They often have them in those little tiny bottles as well, but this is like your bread and butter glue, but don't eat it, like I said before. £7.98 platinum price, or $10.38. And then we have our Kalal multi-purpose or all-purpose glue. So this is a solvent-based glue that we have. This one is £7.98 or $15.90, saving up over 30% today. So your platinum price is £6.38 for all 3 bottles, or $12.72. And as Debbie was saying, they really are your very sort of clear, your ideal sort of bread and butter kind of glues. I just got to run over here to get these other glues for glue school. So I hadn't brought them all over. Very slack of me. I do apologise. Now this is our foam pack. So this is a 5-piece 3D foam pack. So you've got your foam sheets first of all. Then you've got some foam pads in different sizes here, and then we have this product, which is, can I say it? It's foam on a roll, foam on a roll, foam on a roll, foam on a roll, foam on a roll. Hey! And we've got 2 different sizes. I'm not going to sing this again. I'm just not. So you've got 2 different sizes here. Now this is absolutely ideal for maybe making your shaker cards, if you want to add a little bit of dimension to any of your cards. You're saving 15% here, so the platinum price is £12.39 or $21.99. Then we also have our red liner tape. It comes in 3 packs. So the first one is your 3mm. This is very, very fine red liner tape, and this is great for sort of very tiny bits and pieces that you might be doing. And I always found red liner tape, I was very surprised about how strong it was. It was much stronger than any other double-sided tape that I happen to use at home. So this is £5.19 or $10.39 if you are Club Inspire member. The next one we have is the 6mm pack. Again, it's a 3-roll pack of your red liner tape, and you're saving over 10% with this. This is £5.59 or $13.59 if you're Club Inspire member. And then the final one that we have on the show today is our 12mm. So this is a really great thick one. This is great for construction of boxes and other 3D items that just need that extra kind of strength in it. Again, you're saving over 10%. Platinum price is £7.99 or $16.79. So again, all of your essentials that we've got on the show today. So I'm going to go over to Debbie. So you're going to show us a few bits and pieces with this glue, aren't you?
Well, I'm going to do the glue, and then of course we need some other mentions here. We've got our scissors, all of them in stock, and we'll talk about those in a moment. But we're going to talk. It's a very little mini glue school with our solvent-based, and I call it. I have a nickname for all my glues. I call it the wiggle glue, but it is our all-purpose glue. You'll hear Leanne reference this a lot as the best glue in the world, because it is a fantastic glue that is perfect for all your matte and layers. Talking of matte and layers, we've got some matte and layer dies on the show at the most. In fact, Jamie, can we just quickly mention how fantastic these are? We all know our Craig loves the matte and layer. Can we just mention about this deal that's on here? I'm conscious time is flying. But these are incredible dies, incredibly essential dies. And you can, I was just going to say, is that the price, Jamie? Oh my God, are you kidding me? No way. Are you saying both sets are £12, $14? That's the best deal I've ever seen them.
I wish I'd waited before I bought mine.
I was just going to say, that's the best deal. I thought I took a stellar deal down with me to another place. Oh my God, £12 or $14 for 2 sets of essential matte and layer dies that our gorgeous Craig had a hand in, put his idea forward to the product development team, which are perfect for all your card bases, and they come in the size of 6x6 and 5x7, the 2 most common ones that we do, and then you don't have to worry about getting the the nesting dies that fit in. It's all in here in these matte and layer dies, and you can do all sorts with them. I cannot. I nearly choked on that. Because look at the platinum price. If you're in the Platinum Club, £9.60, this would be a gift that I'd be giving. Do you know, if you've already got these, this would be the gift I'd be giving to my crafty friend. Yeah. This would be the one that I'd be thinking, right, stocking fillers, gifts for my craft friends. I could split that up and give one to Betty, one to Joan, whoever your crafty friends are called. What a great deal. £9.60 or $11.20 for 2 sets of absolute essential dies. That is phenomenal. And I hope Craig is watching, because he'll be like, what are they doing? Giving it away? Absolutely we are. Honestly, takes your card making onto a whole new level, and you don't have to worry about doing your cuts on your guillotines, because you've got them there for you. Absolute essentials. And I'm so shocked at that price, Jamie.
And great for gutting your card as well. Because you don't want to waste your card, and sometimes gutting your card. So if you're a new crafter and you don't want to waste your card, those are absolutely great, because you then can cut out the middle part of the card that's going to be hidden with your other, with your topper or whatever. And so they're going to save you your card and your paper, aren't they?
I think, do you know what? I might show you that before we finish, because that is absolutely a stellar idea. It really, really is. But going back to the glues, essentials again, we all need glues and they all do different jobs. This is the water-based one, our tacky glue, but it absolutely, I mean, they both dry clear. This is more clear in colour, this is white in colour. This is a water-based, this is solvent-based. Both do a different job, but both equally fantastic. Your tacky glue is going to come in for so many uses. I give one of these to my daughter because not only for Safi to play, you know, to when she's doing all the craft and arts, but it's a perfect one around the house because it does all sorts from ceramics to textiles to...
Oh, really?
Honestly, yeah, it's a really useful glue. A lot of people don't realise just how useful glue this is. So it's absolutely a fabulous glue to have, and what a great price that they're on at today as well. But I'm just going to show you in terms of, and I've taken some of our matte black cardstock, I've taken a couple of pieces of cardstock, paper, sorry, because you know I get the questions asked about wrinkling in your paper and your cardstock, and it's usually because you've used the wrong glue for your matte and layers. So if you're matting and layering, that's going to be the one that you would use. So we've got more intense glue schools that are on our library, and I say library, our Crafters TV library, on YouTube, on Facebook. You can get hold of them, and we've got, you know, I think Jan did a recent one, didn't she, where she did a really in-depth one and talked about the glues and why you need all of them. Now I've just spread that around there. The lovely thing that I do love about this glue is the fact of the matter is it gives you wiggle time to get it into place. So if you put it in the wrong position and you want to position that up, you've got wiggle time to get it in. Can you see how it wiggles?
Oh yeah.
Perfectly. But if you get a little bit of what we call a splurge or a splash out, it's usually because you put too much glue on, but sometimes in the nature of it, it is. But again, if you literally, and I'll pop it on the back, what you're going to do is use your finger and you're just going to literally until it all dries, and you can take off, because it rolls up into those little, I call them glue bogies. I'm not going to call them anything else because I can't think of a better word. Sorry, Becky.
I'm never going to think of them as anything else.
It's gone. It's disappeared. It's vanished.
That's brilliant.
Rubber glue at its finest. I call it rubber cement glue. I know it's not really rubber cement glue, but in my head, how I describe it. But perfect for the mats and layers because it's solvent based. It's not soaking up into that paper, into that, and it absolutely is perfect. If I was to use a white glue, look at me, nickname again. Always give it a shake. This is a water-based glue, so you want to mix it all up. So, and when they're stood, the nature, it's a bit like your tomato sauce. Best way to describe it, you need a tomato sauce bottle.
Yeah.
Put your tomato sauce bottle, you leave it. You come to use it first time, squirt it, water comes out because it's got water content in it. We'll be the same with this.
Right,
if you left it for a while, didn't shake it, put it out, it's like a watery base first before the white comes out. So always give it a good old shake. And like I said, you can go back to that glue school, which is a bit more in-depth than what I've got here. I'm just touching on essentials in this show, but we've got a more in-depth one, which Jan is just the best person to learn from in my eyes. But we'll talk to you about that as well. But can you see how it's like white? The other one was clear, liquid. This one will dry clear though. But if you put it on, and I'm just going to spread that around, you always, and another thing people ask me, when you've finished using it, screw it back on so that the top is back down to that base. When you want to use it, unscrew, and then you can then pop that on there. But because of the water content, what it happens to do on a paper, which is why it's not the best one for matting and layering, is can you see, if I just lift it, it curls, it warps, and it will do because the water escapes into that paper. And what happens when water's in paper? It wrinkles. Yeah, so you're not going to get the same look. So I don't use, for my matte and layers, I don't use this one. I use this one on coated cardstock. I use it for me coated Centura Pearl, for things like mirror card, for things like glitter card, encapsulated glitter card. I use it for that. Because if I was to use the solvent base will lift it. It'll lift the texture, lift the colour. So I don't use that. I use this for matting and layering, this for all my textures. But again, if I just try and get this down and stick it down, that might be a bit tricky because it's a bit warm in here today. Because I know you were saying, Becky, it's really quite warm. But what will happen is that this will dry wrinkly. It'll warp it, and in fact, it's already starting to curl in my hand. You can already see it. It's already starting to warp. But that's because it is. Whereas with solvent-based glue, and in fact, if we do it that way, can you visually see it? If I just move, can you just do that better, Charlotte?
Oh,
you
yeah.
can see this is the tacky on paper, this is the solvent, which is the flattest.
Yeah.
That's the one you use for mats and layers.
That's amazing difference, isn't it?
Yes, and it will, and it'll make it difficult. I mean, you can squish it down if you want to and try to squish it down, but it will in the nature of how it is. And I can feel it underneath the paper. And it literally bubbles and that's why we talk about the glues and why you need all sorts of different glues. That one is perfect for matting and layering. That one is perfect for the coated things and for all the other useful uses. My daughter tells me all the stuff she sticks with it, from ribbons to gems to things like that she puts on, feathers stuck on. In fact, it decorated a little Easter bonnet hat that she did at nursery.
Oh.
So it is perfect. It could do all sorts. It's a fantastic glue. They're both are fantastic glues. They're both essential glues. And I was one of those that thought I only needed one glue, Becky, and it was a photo glue at that. And the photo glue, I thought, oh, it's fantastic. And then I'm thinking, why does it peel away really easily? And I'm thinking, no, I don't need any other glue, until I learned from the best. I love Lillian. And again, I can see the wrinkle in it. I can see the crinkle in it. I realised and I totally understood why I need the different glues in my life, and my crafty life, to make crafting easy again and to not spoil your projects and to not ruin your projects. Brilliant one for sticking down boxes and things like that. Your box, you when you're pinching your box sides together, it's absolutely fabulous. They both are fantastic glues, but they just do a different job. Yeah. And then red liner tape. I mean, I could talk about this stuff till cows go home because I use it all the time. I use it for construction. You'll see me here at Crafters TV. Whenever I'm making my boxes, my gift boxes, my light up boxes, I use red liner tape. It's super strong, double-sided adhesive. It's also perfect for, please excuse the way that mine looks, gilding waxes and gilding flakes, sorry. Mine's covered in gilding flakes.
I don't see that being a problem. I'd like everything covered in gilding flakes.
I know, because it is fabulous. But and again, it's the fact of the matter is it's got the 3 different widths in there, which is really useful. And when you do stick that down, let's put that there. I've got another piece here. Let's go across. It's not going anywhere. Please believe you, it goes nowhere, this stuff. It is so strong. It really, really is. Fantastic adhesive. Double-sided. You put the sticky side down first. The reason we've got it the red is so you can see where you've popped it as well. And I'll just pop that going across all 4 sides.
I always find that when I use it, when I peel off the backing goes everywhere.
Yes, and it will, because it's got static to it.
Over the dog.
Yeah.
After the dog's got these little red ringlets.
I've talked about this before. I've had it floating in my bath because it's been stuck in the middle of my toes and other areas of my body when I've been crafting. Let's just pop that down. But what Debbie was telling me is get yourself a piece of kitchen roll.
I heard this. I didn't know that.
And you pop it on, take it off, and then just pop it on and it sticks down. Look at that, it's not gone anywhere. And it's something I keep saying I'm going to do and then forget to do. But it is absolutely, the static sticks to there, rather than me, rather than in my fingers. And when I can't get rid of it, it drives me insane and I get really, really quite angry with it. Now again, I'm just going to pop that down onto this. And again, let's give it a nice adhere all over. Absolutely fabulous, but that's not going to lift. It's not, again, it keeps it nice and flat, but it super strong. I'm trying.
Yeah, you just
look, that shows you how strong it is.
Yeah.
It literally is the most amazing double-sided adhesive. And again, another reason why, as an essential, you need this in your life, you need these in your life, and then
what else do you need?
Scissors. And the scissors, as we call them, are the most amazing scissors. And I know you use yours, Becky. I've got these scissors in my kitchen drawer.
Yep.
In my craft room. I've given them to both the sets of my daughters because Tasha had bought these, as she called them, cheap and cheerful scissors. And I'm like, you're going to get really irritated with them, let me just tell you. So I bought her a set. And she keeps saying to me, Mum, I don't know how I thought I could cope without them. And I'm like, exactly. They're titanium based. Honestly, these are just fabulous. Very comfortable in the hand. And again, 3 different sizes. If I just put those down there for you for a second, you can see the sizes. We have the 9-inch, 6-inch, and then what we call these, the little snippy scissors. the little snippers, the precision tip ones, and they are precision tip because can you see the tip? It is precise to get in there. If you love fussy cutting, these are the ones for you. They sit in your fingers as well and your thumb and literally are so perfect for decoupage and things like that. They're absolutely incredible. I use these practically every single time I craft. Again, 6 inches, but can you hear that? Perfect for paper crafting and material, the multifunctional scissors, not just for kitchens and things like that, but they really are. But my favourites, not going to lie, are these, which are our 9-inch ones. And the reason why I love them is this. And if I open it right up, you've got all the way 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inches marked on top and bottom, so that if you do things where you want to get, and I'm just trying to find a piece of cardstock, Becky, just bear with me a second. If you want to mark up to a certain measurement, you can simply place it. So if I go into the 3, I'm going to open them right wide up, I'm going to place that 3 inch, snip that down, and know that that is 3 inches precisely, without the use of a guillotine or anything like that. And again, I can go to the 2, so I'll go to that 2 mark, take it down to the 2 inch, perfect, cut me 2, 3, and then we'll finish off just by doing that 1. I'll take it to the 1, put the mark, and I always look at it that way before I angle it, and I've cut the 1. So I've cut 1, I've cut 2, and I've cut 3. In there, through those scissors, let me tell you, I do a lot of, or I did do, I haven't done one for absolutely ages, but I did a lot of book folding and fold and cut. Yeah. And these were the ones that I went to each and every single time. Absolutely fantastic scissors. And each one are on a fantastic, I would say fantastic deal. Look at the price to get the best scissors in the business, in my eyes, for £28.98 or $44.90. Amazing, it really is. Or in that drop-down box, that purple box, brand new to Club Inspire today. Have you signed up? If you have, we'll give you a tickle at that price of £23.80 or $35.92 for all 3 precision snip scissors. Whew. I hope you've enjoyed the show, Becky. I can't believe it's flown by.
Well, we've had loads of people messaging about you've really fixed all the problems with people's guillotines. Everybody that messaged in, they're like, we did what you said, fixed it. So really, really grateful, because it's, you know, if you've already got one and you can't use it, it's quite frustrating. You don't want to buy another one unnecessarily. And at least now, if you do pop them in your basket today, you will remember all those little tricks that Debbie's giving you about making sure that you use it properly. So the other thing we have on the show before we leave for this afternoon, and we're going to be coming back at 6 p.m, 1 p.m, or 10 a.m, depending on where you are, is our Weekend Super Saver. So this is your Tiffany Nancy tote. This is like all of the Tiffany bags. It's really strong, it's really sturdy, it's clear all the way through, so you can see exactly what you're getting in it. So you're going to be buying this and your magnetic design set. So you've got like a magnetic kind of shim here with a magnetic ruler. So it really helps you when you're sort of drafting out any of your designs. You're paying for these 2, and you're going to be getting your rotating board here for free. So this is brilliant. I love having a rotating board. I think sometimes people do pop their Geminis on these, don't they? In order for them to be able to use them nice and easily and move everything around. So you'll be buying these 2 and you're getting this for free. And so this is £27.98 or $31.98, but your platinum price would be £22.38 or $25.58. So fantastic value for you. It's been lovely having you here today.
Thank you very much. Yes, my work is done today.
Yep.
It is done today. I'm back on Monday. Don't forget, anybody who's new and hasn't heard from earlier on, I'm doing a Facebook Live from my home, from my craft room, about what I'm bringing to Crafters TV on Monday, which is, oh, I'm so excited, because you've been asking for a long time, Halloween themed Sarah signature collection.
Wow.
In a box. So I'm going to be previewing that tomorrow night in my craft room. I'll maybe make a card or 2. Come and join me, crafty chat, bit of fun. We'll really enjoy that. But I'm back here on Monday at Crafters TV with the wake up call with, I can't wait to see him, I've not seen him in ages, Joe, where we're going to be launching that box. I'm so excited. I really can't wait. I hope you've enjoyed the show. I really do hope you've enjoyed it. Any questions? I hope I've covered all the boxes. If you get stuck, just give me a message and I'll try and help you with any questions. But I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. I could carry this on for another, but I'm not because she's counting down a mirror. So I'll say farewell. I'll see you either tomorrow night in the craft room or here on Monday at Crafters TV.
Lovely, and I will see you at 6 p.m. or 6 p.m., 1 p.m. or 10 a.m. and I'm back here later with Sharon Callis for Craft House. So I hope you'll join me a little bit later. Have a nice afternoon.